Alright, so this is probably like the most awkward camera angle I can possibly come up with. But I'm literally down here on the, there we go, the bottom of the rack. So it's the breeding rack, on the bottom of the breeding rack, installing the water line. And of course, I thought this would be like the perfect opportunity to be like, hello, we are literally on the bottom shelf. Like, I kid you not, I'm on the bottom shelf doing this crazy fish yoga. So we're using these push connect fittings to run the water lines with. I love these things. They're fairly cheap. I found a bunch on Amazon. Links will be down in the description below. And then the RO tubing line. This is fantastic stuff. So like this combination here, you can't go wrong with it. I've never had one of these fittings actually fail. So that's a good thing of it. And then what I'm doing here is I'm gonna zip tie it up onto the airline. So that PVC will be ready for the airline. So this is actually gonna run in conjunction with this. And then wherever I want a tank, we're gonna put a T-fitting in, branch off to where that actually will feed the tank, and then we'll talk more about that. I'm gonna try and show you this super awkward camera angle. And of course I picked the worst spot for this, but I'm using these PEX pipe cutters. These things are freaking awesome. So PEX pipe cutters, they have RO cutters, but I think these PEX pipe are actually just easier to use, easier to find, and they give you a super straight cut anyways. So I'm matching up kind of where I want this T to fit in. Literally, oh, you can't see. There we go. Snipping it. And then you take your T fitting. Oh, things are getting crazy. And you literally just slip it in. And it's that simple to install a push connect. Super, super easy. And then we're just gonna keep going down and doing this on all the tanks. So as you saw, we are continually working on the auto water change system tonight, actually getting the water lines ran. So I need to move this back up. That's actually gonna go up there in the wall. So I made some changes though, really quick. I made some changes. I changed out the ball valve fittings we're gonna be using down here. God, these are, what are these ones called? Oh, Nearlock or something? There's a really good ball, a true union ball valve. There we go. So it's a true union ball valve, as both sides are union fittings. What I like about it is you can actually change either side to have a thread or a slit fitting. So I did slit to thread, adapted back down to that 1/2 inch bulkhead, and we're now using that, that 1/4 inch RO tubing again. Love this stuff. So it's just a quick push connect fitting. But I do like these ball valves better, as they are just easier to turn, as I say that. Easier to turn, they don't fail as often. I just trust these better, and I figure since I'm going to be using these a lot, I wanted a good one. It's actually the same ball valve fitting that I used over here for my saltwater storage, but it's a completely different topic. So this push connect fitting, I love this RO tubing, and let me show you how we adapted it to fit our needs. So up through the wall, actually come around into the actual fish room. So it's coming through here, and this is the first line that's gonna be feeding the breeding rack. We are gonna be setting up other lines. They're gonna fit into the 220 and the cube tank, but we ran it along here following the PVC for the airline, and just use some simple zip ties just to kind of keep it in place. And then we come down here to where it's actually going to be running along the length of the PVC for the airline. And we're just using these simple push connect fittings. These things are awesome. Let me see if I can find one here. Super easy to use. As you kind of saw in my intro video there, as I was goofing around underneath the tank. Cheap, really effective, but this RO tubing is rigid but fairly pliable to where you can actually get more flexibility using this than, let's say, PVC run around the room tapped with valves. So I trust this more than I did tapping PVC with valves for the actual auto water change. And this is the same system I used in my previous fish room, and I never had one fail. I never had a leak, and you'd be surprised at how much water you can actually pump through these fittings. So I just drilled holes again through the plywood to allow for the 1/4 inch tubing to fit through. So it's just a simple like geez, I think like a 1/2 inch hole, maybe that. Again, zip ties to kind of keep everything neat and orderly. And then we just teed off, ran some tubing over. So I haven't completed this one yet, as I don't know exactly where the tanks are gonna fit on here. But if you come down, so this row here is gonna house 10-gallon tanks. And as you can see, we just brought it down again, zip tied it up to the PVC where the air line is. But then using these fittings, like you can actually rotate where you want them to fit. And so I'm gonna have 4 tanks. So there's 3 tees, teeing off to each tank. And then the very end is gonna be a 90. I'm just waiting on those to come in. But really simple because it's so pliable and so easy to cut that you can adapt this to any size you need. Like let's say this was a 6-foot long rack. Okay, make it a 6-foot long piece. You know, it's just literally, it's push to connect. It's in the name. It's super simple, super easy. And then we're gonna say we're gonna branch off again, bring another line over. It's gonna run down into the sump of the 220 and feed that. Gonna run into the sump of the cube and feed that. And that's why I continually use this. Is it's cheap, it's effective, and it's small, right? I didn't have to run another PVC line everywhere to feed my tanks with water. It's this small black line. You can get these in different colors. But one thing that came up in one of my last live streams is people asked how to release fittings. So if you ever, let's say you connect this and you want to actually separate it again, what you need to do is you need to compress this O-ring and then make a tool that's really easy to do this. This actually wraps around the O-ring and compresses it. And when you're holding that, if you actually push down first and then pull, it will release it, and it's a really easy way to do it. Trying to think if I can show you. I'm trying to think if I can figure a way to actually do that on camera as I'm working the camera by myself and don't have my tripod with me. But anyways, like, so these are reusable. These are reusable. It's, I already disconnected a bunch of these fittings to reuse them. And then cutting the RO tubing, I like to use these PEX pipe cutters. I found these at Home Depot. I can leave a link to all of this down in the description below to Amazon affiliate links, as you can buy all of these tools and products on Amazon. They sell actual quote unquote RO tubing cutters because you want to get as a straight cut as possible. So when you put it into the fitting, you're gonna get a nice seal on it. And that's why I love these PEX pipe cutters. Is they cut in such a union and just neat fashion that, and they're spring loaded, love that. That you can get the cleanest cut on these, and they're easy to handle, right? Like I hate it when there's just little itty bitty pinchers trying to cut this tubing, but these big cutters, much easier to work with, and it gives you just a clean cut. So, and then on the end of each fitting, as I run more RO tubing, it's like we're actually gonna run RO tubing from here to the actual tank. I'm gonna have a ball valve connected to each run to the tank. That way I can control the flow from the line to the tank. So I can determine, like up here or here, right? We're gonna have like one long tank here. Maybe we wanna change more water on this tank. Maybe we wanna change more water on that tank. Maybe I wanna change less water on this tank. And that ball valve connected from the end into the tank will allow me to adjust the flow that each tank will receive. And you'd be surprised how uniform the flow actually is from each fitting to each tank without a ball valve. It's really uniform. And these lines, because this is only a 1/4 inch line, they pressurize really quickly. So you don't need to be worried about if you have like low house pressure or anything like that. They pressurize super fast. And just, I had great success using these in my last fish room, and I knew this is what I wanted to do again. So here's kind of, I think we're on the 3rd part now of the auto water change system, as everything's kind of coming together. So I say we built the heater into the back of the wall, we installed the drain lines, now we actually got the water lines, and then the next portion is when we're actually going to be fitting the tanks to the rack with their bulkheads, their overflows, and we'll go on that one. So everybody, thank you for joining me. I know this has kind of been a fun build series for myself. Is to think up this entire rack has been fun, and then to watch it actually come together has been fun. But I also hope I've been sharing this information in a way that people go, I can do that. Like, I can literally push tubing into this fitting and make it work. So leave me a comment down below. Have you used the RO push connect fittings before? Do you like them? What's your preferred method for an auto water change? I'm always curious to see what other people are doing, because that's how I learn, right? Like, I love learning from other people because other people have great ideas, and that's what I want to see. So leave me a comment. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see the continuation build of this rack, but we still got an entire fishing we're putting together, so we've got a lot more coming. So everybody, I hope you're safe, hope you're well, and we will see you in the next one.